Okay, this is a question from the message when Jesus returns to his hometown of Nazareth and does not perform any miracles there. The question reads like this. I recently appreciated your point that the people of Nazareth recognized the authority of his teaching and validity of his miracles. While his miracles were an appropriate example of God's almighty power, they didn't induce faith, at least in these people's minds. Reminds me of the daily miracles provided to the Hebrews wandering 40 years in the wilderness. Would you say they were also afraid of being exposed? And yet Jesus performed many miracles. With the exception of the disciples, to what extent do the scriptures indicate that his miracles resulted in saving faith? Was it his teaching that saved them, or his love, or all of the above? Okay, great example, great question. And there are many of these types of examples in the Bible. You mentioned, of course, the Israelites, the wandering in the wilderness. They saw the 10 plagues. They saw the Red Sea open up and walked through the center of it. They saw the pillar of cloud by day and pillar of fire by night. I mean, they had evidence like maybe nobody else in the history of the world has ever had. They ate manna every single day that was provided miraculously by the Lord. Their clothes didn't wear out. I mean, all of these miracles after miracle after miracle, if anyone should have known based off of evidence, it would have been the Israelites. And yet we see their hardened hearts over and over again. Korah's rebellion. They're asking of Aaron to make a god and the golden calf. I mean, all of this, right? They want to return to Egypt. They're complaining. They're grumbling. So clearly evidence isn't enough. I mean, Pharaoh is another great example of this, right? Pharaoh saw the 10 plagues and hardened his heart. The Pharisees and Sadducees in Jesus' time saw the miracles with their own eyes. In John 11, this is shocking to me. In John 11, after Lazarus was raised from the dead, and they didn't dispute the fact that he was raised from the dead. Everybody knew that. They didn't dispute that part of it. It must have been so incontrovertible, so obvious. And listen to what they say at the end of John chapter 11. So the chief priests and the Pharisees gathered at council and said, "What are we to do? For this man performs many signs. If we let him go on like this, everyone will believe in him, and the Romans will come and take away both our place and our nation." And I think that verse right there breaks this whole thing open. What is it about the hardened heart that will not accept the evidence? And the answer is, I can't be king. I can't be Lord of my life anymore. The ultimate reason that people don't bow the knee to Jesus Christ is because they want to be Lord of their life. And so the scriptures talk about faith as this gift that God gives us, where all of a sudden we recognize that to bow the knee to Jesus Christ is not only something that I must do, but it is something that is for my absolute best good. That's what faith does. It opens your eyes to see that the salvation that Jesus is offering you is in fact the most glorious, wonderful thing in all the world. That you could not dream up a better existence than submitting to Jesus Christ as your King. And that is, the scriptures does speak of it both as a gift and also as a choice. I mean, think of even a well-known verse like Ephesians 2:8-9. For by grace you have been saved through faith. It's not of yourself. It's a gift of God, not a result of works, lest anyone should boast. And so this faith, the salvation and the faith, both of them, are gifts of God. And yet we're told over and over again to believe, to exercise our will. So I think, all of that is contained in responding to the evidence that God gives us. Saving faith is not less than evidence, but saving faith is more than just evidence. Evidence alone can never save a person. It must be faith that activates the evidence, that activates the information given to us in the Word of God, that activates truth that's been implanted into our mind. Faith activates that, and it becomes to us saving faith that then transforms our affections and makes us into new creatures. So that's the relationship that the Bible gives.